go to Whitney.com.
So I'm Whitney Ullman here with Bella Levy. And it's so crazy because the first time I saw you was actually at a boxing event, a celebrity boxing event. And you were at the press conference and I heard you speak. And, you know, a lot of people that do the celebrity boxing and they get in the ring, they're doing it for a cause. And when I heard you speak about your cause, which was human trafficking, it really caught my attention because it's something that I personally have been wanting to get more involved with learning, especially living near a lot of major cities. I always wanted to know how to see what's happening and just be vigilant of my surroundings. And if I could help someone, I would want to help someone. And so when I heard you speak at the press conference, I was like, wow, I have to talk to this girl. And then I befriended you on Facebook and then I watched you fight. And I know you didn't know me. I was just kind of, you know, behind the scenes watching you. But then we had a chance to talk and I'm like, listen, you're doing so much for this cause. We should really talk and help spread the word, get the word out there. So Bella, I know you have, you know, a lot to who you are, but I really wanted to focus a little bit on the human trafficking aspect and the organization that you represent and the reasons behind it. So let's start there. Talk to us about your organization.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show. And I had the day that I actually fought, I had so much going on. So
I know everyone did. It was crazy.
It was my first time ever stepping in the rink and I had so much adrenaline rushing through me. And then, you know, I was so nervous about everything.
Yeah.
And then over, I was like, whoa, I did it. My dad would be so proud. My dad is a boxer, like legit.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool.
So
we'll have to talk about that too, because I want to bring that up because that was really neat to step in that ring. So we will talk about that. But let's talk about this first.
Okay. So I'm the CEO and the founder of the Bella Levy Foundation. I'm also the creator of the Blue Ribbon Project, which focuses on education, prevention, and awareness of human trafficking. And as you've known in all the events, and even the event that we had just a few weeks ago, where I met you again, and I'm like, wow.
It's the heels.
I had no heels on, and I'm like,
you're tiny. Tiny but mighty.
I'm 5 foot fabulous.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So I give it. It's so funny. I give everybody the blue ribbon and I ask them to put it on their left side close to the heart because this is something that's close to my heart. Okay. That's why you see everything on my foundation, everything I do is very, very specific. There's a meaning and a purpose behind everything. And I love it when people, especially people like you, ask me about why do you do this? Why do you do that? Like, for example, my logo is holding the hands with the globe.
Yes.
Well, first of all, it's very specific. 2 reasons. I'm holding the globe because my hands, healing hands, want to give the world a hug. We want to cure the world. And also, I want to be representative. This is not just in my backyard or your backyard. This is a world global issue. And also, if you notice, the 2 hands are tied together like this, right? Because most victims, what we think of, are usually held together like this.
Oh, and, interesting.
You know, by me creating like the lotus flower, I want that to start like a ripple effect of awareness of all the things I'm doing, that if you ever see somebody just like this, that's a sign for help.
Yeah.
And it's something so simple. There's other nonverbal forms of communication I've been working on for signs of help, but that's that. So
like if someone did do that, I mean, how would someone do that? I mean, if I was with someone who was holding me hostage and I went like this, it would be a very obvious thing, right?
No, but let's say you're at a diner.
Okay.
Or say that you're in a public place.
Okay.
Or in an airplane, you're in transit, you're in a cab, you're in anywhere where other human beings can see you.
Yeah.
And you're just down and you just happen to go like this, like, that would be one of those.
I've also seen the videos recently where people put their hand behind their back and they make a symbol, a gesture. So that's another one. Do you want to show people what that is?
I'm not the creator of that, but I have.
Okay.
But I believe it's you tuck your thumb in and that.
Yeah, right.
Right. Also, there's the Black Dot campaign, which was actually started from the domestic violence movement, because a lot of ladies, they have access to eyeliner, lip liner, just any kind of cosmetic. Some women have even been so desperate as to bite their lip, get a little bit of blood and put it on there.
Wow.
No, not that I know of, no human being ever has a birthmark out of their palm. Very rare.
I never thought of that.
It may happen, but it's such an anomaly. So if you ever see somebody with a dot, black dot is how it started, but any color dot that looks very specific,
Okay.
that trying to tell you non-verbally, I need help. Just like if you're a bartender or work at a restaurant and somebody orders an angel drink, same thing. Same thing.
Did not know that either. That's good. This is all great.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone orders an angel drink, that's their call for help. Like, I'll have an angel drink.
That lets the waitress or the bartender know, I need help. I'll have an angel drink on the rocks, please, no salt. You know,
I wonder if most bartenders are aware of that, because
they should be, because they're usually trained, like they're trained tips, like we all think is TIPS, right?
Yeah.
Is a little bit, but they're like, oh yeah, I'll give my server a tip, whether that's your waiter, waitress, bartender, whoever. But tips in the food industry means to ensure proper service. That's what that stands for.
Okay.
So they're training, because at a certain point they're told to cut somebody off if they appear to be inebriated, but they do about the angel drink. Or if they don't, if they're usually bartenders, and I'll be honest, if somebody says, let me have an angel drink, they're like, okay, Google that. They do. They Google it because they want the
that's smart.
That's true. So when they Google the angel drink and it says that's the sign for help, then they'll reach out to management, and management will contact the authorities, and they'll take it from there.
So how does this relate to you? Why are you so passionate about the cause?
I had a very personal story about why I got involved.
Okay.
Oh,
gosh, I know.
Yeah. And it had such a profound impact on me that I didn't want that to go in vain. And I always believe that you turn your pain into champagne. And I always believe that if somebody had an unfortunate situation and you have the power to change the world for good and do something different, so that person's, even though that person's flame was extinguished before it needed to be, they can leave a legacy. They can something can go as a result of that.
And so obviously, I guess it's too painful to talk about. Is it something that happened to you, or was it a family member?
One of my very good friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
So something. Yeah. So you have a firsthand knowledge of something that happened with this, and it's like, if you don't do something about it and help put the word out there, like, you would feel like you didn't do a service. You did a disservice to people.
Right.
I gotcha. Yeah. No, it's scary. I think that it's so easy. I mean, I guess depending on your age, I don't even know if that even matters, to be honest. I think people, everyone wants to be someone. People want to be flattered. People want to think that, someone is actually doing something nice for them. And you just never know who to trust, how to go about it. And
very true.
When you see something that, looks too good to be true, it most of the time is. And from my personal experience, not with this, but my grandparents were scammed with the Jamaican lottery scam, and they sent all their money overseas. And it was too late by the time I found out. And I was like, what? Like, what are you doing? So I had to literally take over all their finances. I had to take power of attorney. I had to get everything back on track. I had to fight different fees and things with the banks to say, listen, clearly this is not normal. So I think that, it's easy to get scammed no matter what age you are, really. And it's so important to be vigilant, especially with the human trafficking aspect. It's so scary because once you're taken away and you don't have your passport, your ID, help, you don't know who to trust, you're in some strange area, how do you get help? How do you get out of it? And you have to use your smarts. And if you don't do that, your chances are your outcome's not going to be good.
Right. I mean, you're talking about people who are stripped of every point of humanity and dignity because they are being forced and made to do things that we can't even imagine or fathom, which kind of brings me to my next point of two things I want to accomplish. Now I'm going to add a third one, which it's in the process, and I'm so excited about it. So if you remember, I have a t-shirt like the t-shirt that I have on now, and that's my foundation. And that's actually when I did the celebrity boxing.
Wow.
That
Yes. Team
Bella,
Bella.
and on the back is the infamous QR code.
Okay.
And how the QR code works is when you scan it, because we are trained, what 20 and 2021 has taught us, whenever we see a QR code, that we're receiving some type of information. You can't go to a restaurant, you can't go to a bar. They don't have these menus that we normally see. Is scan the code and go to the website. Well, how this QR code works is you scan it, it goes to my website, and the very first thing it says is, do you need police? The very first thing. And the name of the website is bellalevy.org.
Okay.
When you press yes, it dials the police instantly. Because
Wow.
a lot of ladies that are held captive by their pimps or johns or whoever it is that's making them do whatever, they have these things called burn phones, which means they can receive calls, but they can't dial out for obvious reasons.
Okay.
So I found a way to use their technology against them. So if you scan it using the QR code, you're able to dial the police right away. And you don't even have to talk. You could just let the phone ride.
Wow.
Because police know that if somebody calls them and they hear movement in the back, that might be somebody in distress.
Yes.
And those phones are tracked 100%.
Okay.
So those are trackable. So that's one of my big dreams, is to get this QR code in all of mass transit, everything from the planes to the cars. And I have to give a big shout out to one of my amazing sponsors. She has make vinyl stickers that go in cars, in windows.
Oh, wow.
This big. Next time I see you, I think I'm going to see you next month, I believe.
Yeah, I'll see you on the 26th.
That's right. I'll give you a couple of those. I'll be more than happy to give you some. Let me know what size you need. I'll get you one of these and
I'll rock it.
Rock it out.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's one of my dreams, is to get it from all the way down to the plane to anything else. And I actually spoke with a person yesterday, and she said she wants to merge efforts and have this QR code on the back of her backpacks for kids to take to school.
Wow.
And I'm excited about that, because it's awareness. And my organization will be 1 year old in May. And when I first started, I have to give a big shout out to Paris, who's my director of marketing. He is literally my left, right, and my other left, right hand. He does everything much correct. So when we first started, he's able to go on the website and said, oh, okay, you have X number of new visitors that came from this region or that region. And I was excited, like, ooh, what part of Maryland are we in?
Yeah.
And then as I started to travel to up and down the East Coast, even to the West Coast, been to Texas, just been to different places. So when we have our morning huddles every Monday, we usually, go over everything. And he was like, oh, you had X number from this state or this state or this state. But now there has been new visitors from every country.
Wow.
Every country. And wherever I go, I let people know about this. I speak to friends and people that are, want to get involved. And they put this in windows of storefronts, in restaurants, in bars, just places where people come through, because naturally, as human beings, we've been programmed, which is good and bad. If we see a QR code, like, oh, we got to scan it. So maybe you're not in a situation where you need help, but because you know that you can get help, it's definitely another tool.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that idea. And I love that people can see that, scan it, and get help right away.
Yes.
That you have that technology in your website. And I'm already thinking in my head, I'm like, I feel like I know someone in New York and maybe at Port Authority and maybe here and there. Maybe you never know, maybe that would be something they would want to implement. I have a girlfriend in California who is also very passionate about human trafficking. And she started something called the Swan Within, and she's a ballet teacher. And I was like, I didn't understand the correlation really, but I was like, that's cool. Like people who are victims of human trafficking, or survivors, I guess I should say, that they can learn ballet. And I was like, but when I heard her speak, she actually did a Google talk. She was talking about how when you're a victim of human trafficking, everything is stripped away from you and you're like an empty shell of a person and you can't feel and you're numb, because you have to be. And so with ballet, it forces you to feel your body, to move with your senses and your emotions in your body. And so it helps bring back the person that you were. So she's kind of doing that therapy for people that went through that. And someone like you, I would love to link you two up as well, because I think
it would be a privilege. Thank you so much. Absolutely.
And so I've been like keeping that in the back of my head, thinking like, I wish, I want to really get more involved. And now that I'm seeing it more and more aware of it. And speaking of that, I mean, you're near one of the biggest cities, near Philadelphia. I'm near Atlantic City. We're both in the metro area, near New York. When there's obviously we talked about the signs that we can see in like hand gestures and things, but what are some other things that could notice? Like, if you see a young girl with an older man, or is there a certain type of ethnicity or age or something like?
Well, this plague does not discriminate. Mm-hmm. It affects everybody culturally, age, anything. One thing I discovered in my travels is if you go to a nail salon, right? And I thought this was so weird. I'm like, girls get their nails done all the time, please. But then I did a little research on it. If you go to a nail salon and you see a young lady that is of high school years in there getting her nails done, and it's like 1:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, she should be at school.
Right. I would never even put those two together until somebody told me. So, the nail technicians, the hair technicians, they are also getting on board and saying, oh, well, did your mom, do you have a half day? Do you have no school? And if the child makes up some weird response, they will, speak to management. They'll take care of the girl and they'll do whatever they need to do. They'll investigate.
So how willing, because from some of the minimal research I've done in the past, it seems that even if you ask someone, do you need help? They're probably going to say no, because they're scared.
Right.
Or if they do want help, like they're not really you're going to have to force it out of them. That's what it feels like. Like, it feels like in our minds, why wouldn't you run away? Or if you're getting your nails done, like run through the back and get out. But they're so fearful.
They're like mind controlled. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Brainwashed. Thank you.
Brainwashed. Yeah.
English. Sorry.
Okay. That's the word.
They're terrified that, because I'm sure their captors tell them, if you tell anybody, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something like.
And I have your paperwork and I have all your stuff, and nobody's going to believe you.
Right. But if there's actually a video that went viral about a young lady calling police, but she acted like she was calling for pizza.
Correct. Right.
So there are signs. So you could ask somebody, if you need help, sneeze, or if you need help, cough, or if you need help, wink. Just do something that is a normal everyday gesture. But if the person asks you, you can respond, and then that to them will speak.
Call for help or something.
What I tell people when I lecture and I travel, never, ever, ever put yourself in danger, ever. Make sure it's safe for you. And I tell people, we have these devices. A lot of people, they'll tape it and they'll post it on social media.
Right.
Use your device to contact somebody as opposed to taping them. I mean, you can contact them, then tape it just so you can have evidence or you can have a point of reference. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I want to empower the public that it's okay to get involved and it's okay to speak up. Do you remember the show, What Would You Do by John Quinones?
Yes, I think of that all the time.
Right. And people just sit there and they watch an uncomfortable situation. And then after it's done, they're like, well, I didn't want to say anything. But
right, exactly.
It's like having a friend that sees you on the train tracks, and there's a train coming at you.
Yeah.
And then after the situation explodes or implodes, they said, well, I didn't want to say anything. But at that point, it's useless because if you can't intervene at the time it's happening.
Right.
So in a situation, if you see something or somebody like that, the one thing that casinos have is security. That's it.
That's
Go
true.
there, just say, sir, maybe it's nothing, maybe it's something, but that lady looks very uncomfortable. That's all they need to know.
Yes.
First of all, they got backup, and they're usually big dudes. And if they don't have backup, they'll call the local police and authorities, and they got backup.
That's true.
But I believe that us civilians are the first line response. We are the front line. We see everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like you see all these videos on trains or on buses where there's a couple that's arguing, or there's a girl that's just sitting with her head down. You could just tell she's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Nobody gets involved because people are like, well, I don't want to be wrong and cause a situation.
Exactly.
Well, you're right. And you save a life.
True.
That is important. So my driving force behind what I do is I want to empower people that if you see something that doesn't look right, be like I have written on my shirt, be that champion of humanity and step in. I'm not saying put yourself in danger. Don't do that.
Okay.
But
step in if you can. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have the phone. You have somebody else in the area. Just say, can you get help? I'm a healthcare worker. They call us super shero and scrubs, right?
Yeah, that is you.
So they teach us we have to take CPR. And they said the very first thing you do is when you approach a victim is you point at somebody and you say, dial 911. Same thing. Mm-hmm. So you find somebody else and you're like, get help. And then you do whatever you need to do to right. So that's part of what I want to do is I want to bring awareness. I want to do education. I want to encourage the public with prevention methods. Like I said, we've seen viral, the lady calling Pizza Hut, where she said that she was calling pizza, but it's a police station.
Right.
You just call the police and just let the phone go silent. They'll track that phone and they'll come and they'll see. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or, the black dot and then, the lotus that I'm talking about. But usually women, I believe that we're more intuitive because we're naturally more empathic.
Yeah.
If another young lady that just looks like she's, not there. And some of these victims are drugged to be forced to do what they're doing. We as women will be like, honey, are you okay? And it's okay to do that. And it's okay to do that. And, she may open up and, you can say like, if you need help, I want you to cough or sneeze. And if she says, or goes, responds to what you said, then you will go ahead and do that.
Figure out the next step.
They may come out and say, I need help.
Exactly. That's what I was kind of afraid of, that, they're not going to say, I need help. So you're right. I like the prompt, like sneeze, cough, blink, something else. So that way, whoever is watching them doesn't think that they're saying anything.
Correct.
So that's interesting. So you had talked about your father being a boxer, and so you were boxing for this cause, and you, worked with Damon Feldman and the celebrity boxing team, and you went out there.
It's awesome.
It's so cool, right? So what did that feel like for you, and would you do it again?
Well, first of all, I called my dad and I told him what I was doing, and he said, what? My father was a boxer in Russia. That's where I'm originally from. Okay. I'm from Minsk, which is the capital of Belarus.
Wow.
And, he's like, well, okay, that's fine. Okay.
Okay.
That's
funny.
But, my dad has always been my number one hero and my number one supporter. And he also told me this. He said, if you have a dream in life, don't ever let anybody stop you, not even me. Because he's like, I as your father, I tell you, maybe think, but I get that. And it's such an empowering experience. I have never fought like that. But it resonated to me because just like I said then, and I say now, and I will continue to say, is I fight for those who don't have a voice or a choice. And there's, something very poetic about that. When you step in the ring and, you give blows, but you also take blows too. And the fight was a draw, and my opponent was great. And we did our thing. And would I fight again? I don't know. Um, it was a very like all like your adrenaline is high and you're doing this, and then you see videos after what you did, and I'm like, why didn't I move? Why didn't I do
Right.
that?
Exactly.
And then like, wait, I look cute in my outfit, which by the way, I have to give a big shout out to Walter. He's the
Okay.
one that put the outfit together. He also works with celebrity boxing. I think it's called Tailor Made, I think.
It sounds,
So
yeah.
yeah, he definitely we worked together, and he made my outfit look cute. But sorry.
That's awesome.
Would I do it again? If the situation was good, and if it was something that I can do and fit into my schedule, I would
Yeah.
absolutely love to do something like that, because it truly is a spirit of a warrior.
Mhm.
And I think it's so important for women to embrace our strength. Our strength isn't just our femininity. Our strength is the fact that we have courage. And I think that's very important.
I love it. Power to the women, man. I love it. Well, thank you, Bella. This has been very enlightening. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you would like for everyone to know?
Again, I want to say thank you. I would love to get the help of the public, just to know that there's an organization like mine that exists,
Okay.
and I'm here to help people. It's not about me. It's about what we collectively can do to help all of humanity. That's why it says Champions of Humanity on my shirt. The name of the website is bellalevy.org.
Okay.
Please feel free to go on there, visit the website, see all the places I've been, see all the amazing people that I'm working and collaborating with, and just be more kind to each other, and just take that 1 minute. I know we live in such a fast-paced world. I mean, obviously, look at my phone is blowing up.
I know.
We just have to take that 1 minute to just pause,
Mhm.
look at a situation, and just say, if you have that voice inside that said, I don't know if I want to get involved, that's exactly when you need to get involved.
Right. Because you have that feeling, that's your instinct talking to you, like something's not right.
That's right. That's correct.
Well, Bella, thank you so much for your time and for everything that you do for the community and for this cause. And we will definitely check out bellalevy.org. And I just want to say you are an amazing person, and I can't wait to see you in the ring again.
I don't know about in the ring. We'll work on that.
Thank you, Bella. Have a great night.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Good to see you.
You too. Bye-bye.